The full true story of the Dead Sea Scrolls. The discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls is arguably the greatest archaeological find of the 20th century, revolutionizing our understanding of the Hebrew Bible, early Judaism, and the origins of Christianity. The discovery, a tale of shepherds and caves. The story begins famously by accident in late 1946 or early 1947. A young Bedouin shepherd named Muhammad ad-Dib, Muhammad the Wolf, from the Ta'amire tribe was searching for a lost goat near the ancient settlement of Qumran on the northwest shore of the Dead Sea. He threw a rock into a cave and heard the sound of breaking pottery. Investigating, he found several large clay jars containing ancient leather and papyrus scrolls, wrapped in linen. These first scrolls were eventually sold to an antiquities dealer in Bethlehem, and through various channels, made their way to scholars. Recognizing their immense value, a frantic search began. Between 1947 and 1956, Bedouin shepherds and archaeologists systematically searched hundreds of caves in the Judean desert. The most significant finds came from 11 caves near Qumran, yielding the majority of the scrolls. In total, over 900 manuscripts were discovered, most in fragments, but some remarkably well preserved. Who wrote the Dead Sea Scrolls and when? This is the core of the mystery, and the evidence points to a specific Jewish sect. The authors. The Essenes. The overwhelming consensus among scholars is that the scrolls were written, copied, and stored by a strict Jewish sect known as the Essenes. The evidence for this is compelling. 1. The historical record. Ancient historians Pliny the Elder, Josephus, and Philo all wrote about the Essenes in the 1st century CE. Pliny specifically located an Essene community between Jericho and Ein Gedi, which perfectly describes the location of Qumran. 2. The archaeological site of Qumran. The ruins of Qumran, excavated in the 1950s, show a community center with scriptoriums, writing rooms, inkwells, ritual baths, mikva'ot, and a communal dining hall. This matches the descriptions of the communal ascetic lifestyle of the Essenes. The content of the scrolls. Many scrolls describe the beliefs, rules, and practices of a sect that called itself the Yahad, the community. The rules in the scroll known as the Community Rule, or Manual of Discipline, align perfectly with the descriptions of the Essenes. Celibate, though some scrolls mention married members, strictly observant of Jewish law, communal ownership of property, and a focus on ritual purity. While a few scholars have proposed alternative authors, such as Sadducees, Zealots, or a group from Jerusalem, the Essene hypothesis remains the most coherent and widely accepted. The timeline: when were they written? The scrolls are not a single document, but a vast library collected over centuries. Analysis using paleography, study of ancient handwriting, radiocarbon dating, and archaeological context has established their age. Date of composition. Copying. The vast majority of the scrolls were copied between the 3rd century BCE and the 1st century CE. The oldest known biblical scroll, a copy of the Book of Samuel, dates to the 3rd century BCE. The most active period for the Qumran community was from the mid-2nd century BCE to 68 CE. The hideaway. In 68 CE, the Roman 10th Legion was advancing on Jerusalem to crush the first Jewish revolt. As the Romans marched down the Jordan Valley, the community at Qumran hid their precious library in the nearby caves, hoping to retrieve it later. They never returned. The Romans destroyed the Qumran settlement in 68 CE. What are the scrolls? The contents of the library. The Dead Sea Scrolls are not just one type of text. They are a diverse library that can be divided into 3 main categories. 1. Biblical manuscripts on 40% of the scrolls. These are the oldest copies of the Hebrew Bible, Old Testament, by almost 1,000 years. Every book of the Hebrew Bible is represented except the Book of Esther. The most famous is a complete copy of the Book of Isaiah. These scrolls prove the incredible accuracy of the medieval Masoretic text tradition, but also revealed fascinating alternative readings and variations. 2. Sectarian writings, often 30% of the scrolls. These are the unique texts that describe the beliefs and rules of the Essene community itself. Key examples include the Community Rule, the constitution for the sect. The War Scroll, describes a final apocalyptic war between the sons of light, the Essenes, and the sons of darkness, the Pesherim, commentaries that interpret biblical prophecies as being fulfilled in the community's own time. The Damascus document, another set of rules and teachings. 3 apocryphal and pseudepigraphal works, 30% of the scrolls. These are other Jewish religious writings that were popular at the time, but were not included in the final Hebrew Bible canon, such as the Book of Enoch, the Book of Jubilees, and the Genesis Apocryphon. Significance and legacy. The importance of the Dead Sea Scrolls cannot be overstated. They verify the Bible. They provide textual evidence that the books of the Hebrew Bible have been transmitted with remarkable fidelity over a millennium. They illuminate a pivotal era. They give us an unprecedented window into the diverse world of Jewish thought and practice during the tumultuous Second Temple period, the very world in which Rabbinic Judaism and Christianity emerged. They connect history to text. We can now read the actual documents of a Jewish sect from the time of Jesus and see their apocalyptic hopes, their strict interpretation of the law, and their expectation for a messianic figure. In summary, the Dead Sea Scrolls are the library of a Jewish sect, most likely the Essenes, who lived at Qumran from the 2nd century BCE until 68 CE. They copied, composed, and collected these texts, hiding them in caves as the Roman army approached, preserving them for 2,000 years until a curious Bedouin shepherd stumbled upon their incredible secret.